Alright, I'm just the stupid dog. And I heard the man talking. He was at the Dutch Renaissance table. This table's like 700 years old. It's probably worth $300,000. I mean, don't even get me started. It sits in the corridor where the old timey, when they would bring geese in wooden crates. The geese would stick their heads up through and their long necks. And like, what the freak? Then they would force feed them a lot of crap and they would make foie gras. Because the man out there in Western Kentucky, they got things a little bit late. Fashion was a little late. Hairstyles, when they went from the double-breasted suit to the single-breasted suit, when they put their crease on the front, when they went they changed it from the crease on the side from their pants. I think that was King George who did that. I'm not sure. Don't worry about it. Anyways, yeah, they were always a day late and a dollar short. Like the Beatles didn't get there till like 1977. I mean, don't worry about it. It's okay. Don't worry. But anyways, foie gras, at this particular point, they were always trying to do foie gras. You don't have to worry about what foie gras is. Look up what foie gras is. But I heard the man talking on the Dutch Renaissance. He was sitting at the Dutch Renaissance table out there on the big corridor where the merchants used to bring all the stuff in for the kitchens of the big manor house. And he was talking on the Andy Griffith phone. And he says, I think this is like the 5th or 6th episode. It could be 5. It could be. I think it's 5. I believe it's 5. The man says, "Do you need something?" And I could barely hear it, but I heard the guy on the other end of the phone, the guy who was talking to the man. He put up the cone up to his head, and I heard the word sprawl. And the man went, he went frumph, frumph. Frumph, he said. The man said frumph. And then I heard very faintly the guy on the other end of the phone, he said, "Test the waters." And I was like, the man said, "Hey, bud." I didn't know what was going on. I mean, stupid dog. I heard the man verbally out loud say, "Always fly under the radar." What are you, some kind of jermokes? And then the man said the word escalation, and then he said the word fear, and then he said the phrase, slave girls or drugs. And then he said, "I'm not getting into that bullshit. Listen to me, we're not getting involved with that bullshit." He said out loud, slave girls and drugs. Then he said, "We're not getting involved with that, all right?" So anyways, I mean, the man at one point during this phone conversation, he said this. He says, "Listen, you stupid son of a bitch, you have to hold a line. Everybody has to know that we mean business. Our own people have to know we need business, and everybody else around us has to know we need business." And I'm not saying cut off their lips. We don't want to cut off their lips straight away. No, we're not cutting off their lips. But, you might cut off a single ear. You might cut off a single ear. If it comes to it, you might have to gouge out an eye, and so be it. First you sew the lips shut. The man was saying, you take some cat gut and you sew their lips shut, first of all, and you smack them around. You beat them. Then you try to taunt them with like a vanilla milkshake or something. You know what I'm saying? You sew their lips shut. But, if it comes to it, you have to cut off their lips. That's getting, kind of up there in the dog wars. This was the dog wars. I mean, a stupid dog. I don't know why it was named the dog wars. I had nothing to do with it. Somehow it became known as the dog wars. The man was getting ready to go to battle. He was in battle. It was just crazy. But the man also said, if it comes to it, listen, don't cut off their lips. I'll come by and I'll bring my kit. And by which that I knew the man meant his lobotomization kit, because some of the man's worst enemies, he would lobotomize them. He would shove they looked like knitting needles, but they were stainless steel implements that I thought he had from his, he acquired during his time as a veterinarian, a very, very skilled. He was an idiot, a savant veterinarian. He operated on the rabbit and he turned the rabbit into a talking rabbit. That's, I'm just talking because I have a collar that we purchased from Guadalajara or Guadalupe, which anybody could have bought off Amazon. I don't know why there's not 1,000 talking dogs. But anyways, I talk because I have a special collar that enables me to talk. And some people think I don't even really talk. It's all a fantasy. I don't talk. This is just like a schizophrenic fantasy. I don't know if that's true or not. I think I talk. I mean, I saw them one time they put the collar on a tree and the tree talked. You know what I'm saying? One time, this hasn't been written about yet, they put the collar, a snippet of the collar, they put up next to a canary's throat and the canary started talking. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The man was like, we gotta bring in Uncle Denner and his killer squirrel Thunderbolt. Believe me, before this is all said and done, Thunderbolt will talk. Just remember, because I bounce around. I'm not tethered to this reality. I have my dog remembrance in the past, but I also go forward in time. So don't worry, I'm not a time traveler. I don't even want to talk about it. Okay. But the man was like, listen, if I got to lobotomize somebody, don't worry, I'm ready to lobotomize them. Then they're rendered incompetent. No one will be able to, they can't testify that way. You see what I'm saying? The man, he always talked a little bit more guttural, a little bit more gritty whenever he was talking about some of his menacing violence that he was willing to partake in to protect his interests. He was talking about lobotomizing his foes. And then he said, listen, in the old days, all I would have done is shave off his beard. You know, you cut half of his beard off from his nose down over the notch in between his lips, and then across his lips, down over his chin, down to his neck. You cut off half his beard. It's a big embarrassment. But these days, we got to lobotomize them. So don't worry about it. But then the man was like this. The man said, listen, you always have to remember that we answer up the chain, okay? If we don't perform, we're going to get bullets in our heads. If we don't perform, there's going to be brain splatter all over the ground, and we're going to look in our last brief moment of life, and we're going to say, that's my brains. The last thing I'm going to see is my brain splatter on the floor. The last registration of my brain is going to be, holy shit, half my brain's gone. I'm a stupid man. I got oxygen deprivation brain injury. I don't have enough brain to give away that way. You see what I'm saying? All right? So don't worry about it. We are not going to get to that point because we're going to assert our situation. We're going to be, we're going to gain control. We're going to control this situation, okay? We're going to gain control. Well, I'm a stupid dog, and I was a little bit scared. At that point, I crawled under the couch. I think they called it a love seat. It was a couch. I forget what they call it. The devoir. I don't know what the word was for it, but I crawled under this big, beautiful piece of furniture, this old, musty piece of furniture on this beautiful, half of it was covered. Underneath it was like half carpet, half floor. It was cold. I was scared. I was so scared I thought the thunder and lightning was flashing. It's as if I thought there was a big, giant tornado bearing down on us. I was scared. I'm a stupid dog. Now I'm getting scared during these dog wars. I think this was episode 5. I'm not even sure. Don't worry about it. It's all right.